Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. I found it quite funny when I looked up this word, kaiche, in several books online and also with Google Translate and other things, that it was slightly different translation in Google Translate, and I found that funny because in Google Translate it was given an explanation that was figuratively, so indirect actually, like as if it is about I'm driven by, especially when I looked it up, like what does it say in Dutch, what does it say, how does it translate in English. It was a given a slightly different orientation. Why you could also actually in other books it was translated as really driving, and the word in English is a good example of saying that you can mingle so what um, destinations of a word by context, but the word itself gives an orientation which becomes something different when it's used directly or indirectly, and that says something about language, about words as well, how you can use them on which kind of levels. And it's a good example. So I thought, okay, I will go again to this word. I might have gone to at least one of these two characters before, but it's a very good opportunity to go back to and give you an explanation about the character and the orientation, how you can remember it and so on, but also about the sounds, how they drive you into a certain direction of thought. And the last thing is a theory that has been in the first development, in the study of it, in the sounding form, or in the first part of development of the word, and with the second part application of the word. Okay, let's go to that word with two characters. And of course, you will always have this orientation. Why do we use letters? A letter combination is because it's a combination of what we see within our eyes. We really don't need attention that goes to right or left. It is a stable element, and there we have a lot of letters that we can use for it. Other letters are used for where we use our eyes for, so we have to look for the directions. And when there are too many directions, you see in these three parts, you have also another kind of letters. And all of these letters, of the Roman letters, can be put into one of these positions, also in three levels. But that's how I won't explain anymore at this time. The Chinese characters are in the middle, in the area where it will explain what is needed to have the right position of ourselves towards what is due to changes, due to what is asking and demanding some adaptation whatsoever. And all these letters that I have here are like almost like a geometrical context, like I explain them here on the level of X, Y, and Z. A three-dimensional frame in which also is a time frame of an unstable point and a stabilizing point. So these are the 3 points that you need to have your focus, which is stable in the beginning in space, which is unstable in time and is busy with what is changing, or which is stabilizing, again, is stabilizing the situation by knowing the context what to choose. So the letters will be put into the right positions, into the stable position, the unstable position, or the stabilizing position. That's how I will explain it this time. And the reading of a word will, of course, accept the order of the word. How I will put it here. That will also show you how I orientate myself with that word and the combination of letters. So in here I will put all the letters. But first the Chinese character, which is 2 characters, or Chinese words, which is 2 characters, which of course has a starting point and another word which will tell you where we'll go to and what we will focus upon and so on. How we focus is a starting point. On what we focus on and so on, and what we need to do are the conditions, of course. So it is the same thing as I start from me and I go to you, and I have some conditions and they are described here. So the first character is actually like a working field in preparation with an opening to it. You can see that in the character, and in the letters, how it is expressed. We have Kai, which is K, A, and I, as it is expressed here. So it starts from the space, the working field, a center field, and a background field. And I explain them where they are. They are at the first level of space, and the K is an expression always of the moment where you don't know where things are going, or is a bit becomes a bit vague, that I know where I start from, but I don't know where it goes to. Is it something changing or not? You don't know that yet. It's not, don't focus on what is changing it, because you don't know where to look at. That's the K. You don't know where it goes yet. A is always about the center focus, so it is, I don't know where it goes yet, where I have a center focus. With the geometrical associations, it is the diagonal thing, which changes my perspective that is normally going horizontal, and it makes an extra destination that is uncertain. That is my focus. I had a focus in the middle, but it changed because of the letter K, so I had that question mark there that doesn't know that maybe it is changing. I don't know what to do with it. K is literally the meaning of that. But thanks to E in the end, my attention goes to where I can fill that in. That's the meaning of E. I can fill it in. I can fill it in by context. I know what to do. So what does that mean then in combination with the character? The character already shows you a working field which is now opening up, and you have an accessibility to this starting point, and that's what Kai is about. So you have that question. You don't know how to go further, but you have already a starting point of a working field, and you can start from there. You can start from there to fill it in. The next character is actually quite well explainable by these symbols or by these figurative explanations. So I look for what I can do. That's the man behind it, and the character behind it is a little bit like you have like they drew a car in the beginning when they had it in the prehistoric paintings, even on rock paintings. They see it from up, and they have the two wheels, and they have the structure that keeps the wheels together, and that's where it is. So we have already visibility on what it is about. It is about, it is this car which drives to a certain space. Can I use it? Where can I use it? That's my driving force also, that I will use to go into a certain direction. And when I add for the second part the letters that are in my system, which I have here quickly with some reference points explained already a little bit, then we will add the letters where they are in the position. The C is that uncertain position in space, which we will use with a new starting point that we already know. Okay, but I have somewhere in my uncertain space, I have a small frame that I can use for my attention. I know something is changing, like in K. It is also in the same. Often the C is also expressed as K. sometimes also expressed as C, and you follow all the effects and you follow it during a certain time. So you have an estimation point at a specific place, that's the C. And the second letter H is that looking for background conditions that are just right. So I can use it, I'm sure, within a certain frame in the background, I can use it, and I know here it is right, and this will work. In this frame it will work. The last letter is the E. So E is that the whole thing of going on, so that we can do. So in a way, it is an estimation point at the place where the conditions are right, and we can give it a go. On its own, it doesn't say yet it is about what it is. It's just about the conditions. We have something where we can start from in conditions that are right, and we can start with it if we want. We have something to start with. We have a vehicle, as it will turn out to be, what it is about. Well, the character always says, yeah, but what is it really about? Now we know how to behave with it. What is it about? So the Chinese sounds are always indirect. The characters are directly focusing upon what do we have, and then we know how to behave with it with a little bit help of the sounds. So here is it. You have the character, so you have the estimation with the conditions just right, and we can go on with it. So, but what do we give it a go is of course that vehicle that we will use. So what do we have? We have that starting point with an opening with that vehicle to use. So we have the opportunity also. We have an opportunity because we have an opening for it. We have an opening for it to use the vehicle or the car. And you can translate it also like as when you say, yeah, who has this opportunity? When we have the starting point, he will be the driver for it. And the indirect translation was actually driver, driven by. I found it that idea quite funny. So the one who is driven for that vehicle to use. So I hope these were also more clear. What also about the English, how the English word is used, how the Chinese word is showing its associations, and if you want to have the idea from how do we come to a logic and so on with letters, what did exist of logic with letters in the past, and how can we see in different how can we see it in different scripts from different angles, from a lot of angles, the same kinds of logic that builds up its own and builds up togetherness, how it hangs together, is explained in sounding form with a little bit more focus on how forms are easily associated and attached to this formation process. But it could of course, now like I do now about an orientation in space, is a bit slightly more worked out in these videos. They also separate into separate books if you want to go more deeper into the learning how this really works and just gain experience. You don't have to learn these books by heart to gain that experience. But if you can follow what's going on, you're getting acquainted with the kind of logic that we actually deal with, the association that we deal with when we have certain conditions, when we have a certain understanding. I have several levels of understanding to know what the results will be of associations that we can derive from it. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye.